Welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews. I hope everyone enjoyed their holiday weekend, but we need to get right to it and bring in our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, because it already feels like there are things that we missed over the weekend, Woj, but you were all over it. With this past weekend sort of being the first one of the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving free agency, it's come and gone. What's the Nets' strategy today as they continue to assess potential trades for Kevin Durant specifically?
Yeah, Malika, I really think it's the same as before the weekend, and that's to get back as many assets as they can for Kevin Durant, and that may take time. These are complicated deals, and you look back at some of the big deals Brooklyn has done, including James Harden with Houston. That played out over a couple of months. Now, this is the offseason, and it has a different momentum than the season does. I think one thing that might be helpful, Malika, if there's not a deal done here in the next couple days, and I don't have any sense that there's one imminent, everybody getting the summer league, the GMs, the team presidents, being able to sit down face to face, I think that has value in contract talks, especially, or trade talks, especially when you're trying to put together complex deals. I think especially with Phoenix, where you're going to need multiple teams involved, Miami, but still the Toronto Raptors, that's the team, I think the most seamless trade for Brooklyn. They can do a one-on-one trade with the Raptors. The assets are there, the ability with, I think, quality enough players, draft picks, and contracts that match up. I think ultimately that's the least complicated deal, and I think people should keep watching as the Raptors stay involved in these conversations. But listen, I don't think the Nets are in any rush. They know what's at stake with Kevin Durant. They know they have to get back a monumental haul, and I think the Rudy Gobert trade only solidified their belief of what Kevin Durant's value is going to be on the market.
Interesting, absolutely. You also reported this morning, Woj, that T.J. Warren is on his way to Brooklyn. What does that signing mean for the Nets?
I think it just tells you that the Nets, they want to put as good of a team as they can on the floor this year. This isn't a team, that's looking in a Kevin Durant trade or a Kyrie Irving trade that they're going to, head toward a rebuild. They're going to get back good players, and for Kevin Durant, potentially, maybe another very, very good player and pick. So you're going to need T.J. Warren, and of course Edmund Sumner, who they also signed, another guard who played for the Pacers. Simply, these are good rotational players, and I think T.J. Warren has shown when healthy, he can be a very good starter in the NBA.
We absolutely saw that, especially in the bubble when he had that 50-plus piece. The other big domino, though, in Brooklyn, Woj, is Kyrie Irving. How realistic is it that we could see him in a Lakers uniform?
Malika, listen, I think there's a dance that the Nets and Lakers are going to do over a period of time here, and I do think there was a check-in between the two teams. I think ultimately, one of the big questions that would have to be answered in a Kyrie Irving Laker deal, and if Russell Westbrook's involved, then he almost certainly would have to be just based on the contracts. How many draft picks or draft pick would the Lakers be willing to give up? They've got their 27 pick, they got their 29 pick. And I think as that conversation probably picks up again here, whether it's at Summer League or further in the summer, I think probably the Nets' insistence that they get, significant draft compensation, especially taking on the money, the additional money, and of course the value of Kyrie Irving as a talent. But I think both sides know the other may not have anywhere to go in the interim. And so I don't know if there's a rush for the two of them to sit down and really get moving. But again, I would imagine both Rob Pelinka, Sean Marks will be in Vegas in Summer League, and that's a conversation they could decide to pick up there again.
Since they're not in a rush, let's set Brooklyn aside for just a moment and stick in the East, though. Where do the James Harden negotiations stand with the 76ers right now, Woj?
Well, they're not in a rush either. And I think if you saw social media this weekend, you saw James Harden, some of his teammates were having a great time out in the Hamptons and clearly just knocking out this contract and getting it done was not a priority on the holiday weekend, but it's expected to get done here, whether it's in the next 24, 48, 72 hours. James Harden sitting down with the Sixers and just getting to a longer-term deal with them. Obviously, by opting out, he's allowed them to go out into free agency, pick up P.J. Tucker, Daniel House, and so those are players now that under the salary cap they were able to get. They probably wouldn't have been able to get if they had had a James Harden who opted in. So the expectation is it's coming, that they'll sit down and figure out what exactly the numbers will be on that extension and how many years. But James Harden will be back in Philadelphia, as we've known really here for a few weeks.
It's coming, and we will be staying tuned for your reporting when it does. Adrian Wojnarowski, thank you so much for your time. I hope you got a little bit of a break to enjoy your holiday weekend.